It's Grandson of Right Thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Life. I'm going to share something with you, little flock. And if you're able to receive it, then it shall greatly benefit you. What did Christ say the kingdom was? Now, when I tell you what that means, you tell me whether you knew that was the case already or not. Your thoughts and your feelings, where are they? Are they outside of you or are they inside of you? So then your thoughts and feelings are part of that kingdom that Christ is the king of, isn't he? Now, did you know that already? So then, I am the branch. Christ is the true vine. I am in the bosom of Isaiah. So then, doesn't it make sense that I would be the one to bring clarity to what Isaiah is saying to you all? See how it matches? How my name matches? How what I say matches? See how it's all connected? Well, it's the same for all of the elect. We didn't know what we were when we were in that old life, before we were translated into the kingdom, which was out of the outward world and into the inner world, if we're keeping in constant communion with that truth that the kingdom is within. If we don't stray away from that, even though all kinds of doctrines, all kinds of teachers, all kinds of so-called gurus, all kinds of so-called preachers and prophets have tried to get you to come out of that kingdom and to come into this world. Now, the Father told us to come out of that world. So if we were to come out of it, then where were we to go into? You tell me. To the inner world. And when you first get in there, it's desolate and it's a wilderness. And you have to cross over through a sea from one side to the other side of consciousness within yourself. See? You have to do a crossing over from one side of the river to the other. One side of the Red Sea to the other. However you want to explain it. Hold on, y'all. So a crossing over from one side to the other side. From wrong thought over to right thought. From wrong feeling over to right feeling. Right thought, Mount Zion. Right feeling, Jerusalem. Y'all follow that? Coming out of the world, coming out of Babylon, coming back home again. See, because when you were in your homeland, Israel, and I say when you were in your homeland because you're not, you've been scattered to the four winds. A stranger in a strange land, held captive. That's what's written. So now us being gathered home means gathered back into right thought and right feeling into the inner world. Y'all pulled us out there. Y'all duped us into believing that that world was important. But many are now learning just how vain it was to be involved in that world. Because that world, like I've told you, is all about outward appearance. If it's not, then how come those people of that world are getting grotesque surgeries done to their bodies and altering themselves in inhumane ways if it's not about outward appearance? Why do people spend a whole lot of money on clothing if it's not about outward appearance? Because a lot of that shit that costs a lot of money is ugly as hell. But y'all still spend y'all money because you like for other people to say, wow, that means they have a lot of money because they have that on. That's the world that he don't want you involved in. That kind of thing. How things look. If you knew that Eve, when she was deceived, she said, she looked and saw that it looked pleasant to the eyes. If you understood that, then you'd understand the defect in each one of us. being led by the red, being led by the bottomless pit, what you see, what you hear, gossiping and rumors. What's the next new thing that you hear that's going on? What's the next new thing you can see that's going on? Chasing trends. Who's going to come up with a new trend that I can follow? Who's going to come up with a new dance that everybody thinks is cool so that I can join in and do that on TikTok too? Who's going to come up with a new slogan that we all say that's really cool to say so I can join in and say that too? Damn monkeys flipping around eating bananas. God damn. Hanging by your tails and shit. Shit's sad, man. You see what I mean, little flock? When you're on the ark, you look out the window, you see why Abba's doing what he's doing. You see it. You understand it. You understand his judgment. And that you know that his judgment is true. They don't believe that. And why? Because Abba's judgment didn't hit them as soon as they did something wrong. So they stopped believing that there was a God of righteousness who judged righteous judgment. They stopped believing that. But they didn't read that it was long-suffering. They didn't read his word. They didn't retain it. They didn't hear it and receive it. And it didn't bear fruit in them. So that's okay. That's okay. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's about you. Your thoughts and your feelings. Where's they at today? Because if they ain't in right thought and in right feeling, then something is wrong. That's all there is to it. And if you read Christ's words, you can't tell me that he wasn't discussing with people that were following him about how to think right and feel right. Take no thought. Don't you worry about that. Watch this. The children of Israel were in the wilderness and they had the tendency to murmur and complain. So then if you were to see the master come into the camp of Israel while they're out there in the wilderness, if Yahushua was to come into the camp, he would come through there and he would say, be of good cheer. Take no thought of what you'll eat. You didn't see the manna? That's actually what he'd say. Y'all didn't see the water that came out the rock? Take no thought of what you'll eat or you'll drink. I will provide for you. So take no thought and don't you worry. Isn't that what he would say? So then would he change or does he change? He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. That's what it says. So then he doesn't change. It also says he changes not. So then he hasn't changed. It's about belief. It's about faith. You can't please him without faith. Faith is the evidence not seen. But it's the substance of what you hope for. I guess that's what manna would be, huh? You can't explain where it came from and how you're able to sustain yourself by eating it because you don't even know what it is. That's what the word manna means. It means, what is this? So if you knew that the Holy of Holies was inside of your heart, there's one in Zion and there's one in Israel. In Jerusalem. The two temples need to become one. Ephraim and Judah, the two sticks, will become one in Abba's hand. If you just read the scriptures, you know what I was talking about. You would know. When will that happen? When the branch stands up on the earth and exalts his voice as a trumpet. That's when Israel and Judah shall be saved. That's what's written. So the two sticks are your thoughts and your feelings. They need to become one again. Like I'm telling you, Zion and Jerusalem. And like I said, they both got a temple in there. And they both got a Holy of Holies. Well, that temple in Jerusalem, which is your heart, it has manna in there. Why? So that you won't forget. The manna represents faith. You can eat faith and live off of it. You don't know where it come from. There's no evidence that says it came from something. But yet there it is. And you are eating it. You hear that or what? So that's why it's in the ark, inside the Holy of Holies in the temple. The manna's in there. Aaron's staff that budded with the almond branch. Why is that in there? I told you, the branch. Don't forget the prophecy of the branch. That's why it's in there. It represents judgment. That's when God is going to judge Israel and Judah and they will be saved. I'm trying to tell y'all that they represent grace and mercy. That's why there are two angels on the Ark of the Covenant, called the archangels, mercy and grace. That's who they are. And when their wingtips touch, the presence of Abba comes down in between them. That's Israel and Judah. That's Ephraim and Judah. That's the two sticks, the two kingdoms. When your thoughts and your feelings match, God comes down in the midst of your temple. All of y'all say y'all are looking for truth. Y'all didn't hear what I just told you? All of y'all that say that you're looking for the answer, you didn't hear what I just told you? The answer is right in here. I'm giving it right out. So there isn't any more questions. There shouldn't be. But yet, I don't hear y'all coming. I still see y'all searching. I don't see y'all coming here. Well, the scripture says there will come a time when they will not endure sound doctrine. Sound means complete. It means whole. It means shalom. Complete. They won't endure that. They want bits and pieces. Now you tell me about the world you live in and you tell me if that's how people like to be taught. It's so stupid what I'm seeing. People calling themselves prophets. They're going in churches and then they got some guy that they paid $20 in the alley earlier. They bring him before the church and they're like, they get this guy up here. He's like, yes, I'm a prophet. I'm looking at him. I'm looking and all the crowd is waiting in suspense. And he's like, I see an H written on your forehead. And the guy's like, oh my God. Oh my God. And they put a microphone up to him. They're like, what? He's like, my mother's name is Helen. And then the prophet guy walks off. Yeah, I told you. Prophesying. I am prophesying. No, you prophet lying for profit. That's all you doing, nigga. That ain't what prophets do. Prophets make people feel fucked up. Prophets make people scared. Prophets make niggas nervous. Prophets make niggas act right. Read your Bible and see if I'm making it up. When the nation of Israel was going about their daily task and they saw the prophet go up to the mountain, they knew something was going on. They started to murmur and say, what's going on? God's doing something. God's doing something because the prophet didn't went up to the mountain. Did Moses go up to a mountain while the children of Israel stayed down in the valley and waited? So then I ain't making a damn thing up. Now, when I say the mountain, like I told you guys earlier, that means higher consciousness. In Mount Zion shall be deliverance. And in Jerusalem. They're both on a hill. Both of them are. They're both in elevated places. An elevated heart and an elevated mind is where you'll find Christ. Plain and simple. You won't find him in the beast state. You won't find him chasing outward appearance. He's not there. He's in an elevated heart and an elevated mind. And how do you gain those two things? By keeping his commandments. That's it. That's the only thing that lifts a man out of the mud. That's the only thing that lifts a man from all fours to walking on his 10 toes. Before y'all start saying, damn, nigga, talking about walking on 10 legs? Damn, y'all can act silly sometime. 10 toes, nigga. 2 feet. That's what does it. Loving people does that. Loving yourself does that. Can you love yourself if you're not in an elevated state of feeling and in thought? grandson, you daggering these niggas with the truth. You proving who you is right now to these niggas. All praises to my Father in heaven who has done so. Because when I didn't know this, I was just like y'all. Confused, dumbstruck, chasing, looking for the answer, trying to find somebody that got a good word. Really, you're looking for some quid pro quo. Y'all pay to get y'all back scratched. That's what y'all do. To get told smooth things. That's it. To not have to go in there and deal with your deflated heart and deflated mind and start building the temple back up. You ain't doing that. Well, the branch, it is written, he will build the temple. He will do it. I'm proving it to you right now. How could I tell y'all this if I haven't pierced through the veil and seen what's going on in the ark room, the Holy of Holies? Abba said, come back to the Holy of Holies because I'm closing the door. Come back means I was in there already. I was up there on top the ark. Grace, up there on the ark. I fell off the ark because the Romans broke me off. And they hid me and buried me. And they buried one of me in one of the other angel in one land. They buried me in another land. And they separated us and scattered us. But Abba has returned us because Yahusha cut through that veil. And he went in the temple, it is written, and beat their asses up out of there. And said, give it to me, give it all to me. Give it to me, give it all to me. Give it to me, give it all to me. Living life like it's a law to me. Give it to me, give it all to me. I'm doing this like it's a law to me. Give it to me, give it all to me. He said, give it to me, give it all to me. I want it all. Anybody got a problem? Step up and get whipped. It didn't say when he whipped them, they started in an uproar and jumped him. That ain't what it says. That ain't what it say. Yahusha standing there with the whip in his hand like, jump, Judy, jump. Jump, Judy, jump. Judy got scared. Judy was like, let me just kiss him on the cheek and call him Rabbi and disguise my intention. Yahusha said, you ain't disguising nothing to me. I can see through you. You betray the Son of Man with a kiss. You betray the Word of God with a kiss. That's what you're going to do? So no, that didn't hurt when he was betrayed, huh? But y'all don't expect to ever be hurt in your life. If I be good, I'll never suffer any of that stuff. You don't know what being good is. And if it is, then you tell me what being good is. You tell me. How do you be good? You tell me how. Keep stammering, keep stuttering, keep jacking around with your phone trying to look for something. Keep looking around trying to ask somebody or what they call it, phone a friend and all this shit. It ain't going to work. You ain't going to come up with nothing. As a matter of fact, you're going to come up empty. You're going to come up empty, matter of fact. But it's like y'all don't get it. Y'all don't hear it. You see? So then don't listen. Go on. Let the flock come on over here and listen without any distractions. You know, we be sitting out here in the prairie land little flock and we be getting these downloads from the Most High. And then all of a sudden you hear, oh, or roof, 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 and you look over and there's two of those mangy wolves fighting over an old ass bone. They're fighting over an old ass bone. Yahusha gotta go out there, grab the bone, and throw it out there into the field so they'll stop fighting and shit. That's all it is, distractions. All that stuff y'all be worried about, little flock, it just comes from your nature. Let your light shine. If your big brother is telling you that, then he knows that your tendency is to be timid and shy. He says you're a sheep. Y'all don't know sheep personality? Then you're not Yahusha's. Simple, man. Because if you were his and he says you're his sheep, you would find out about the characteristics of sheep. So you can find that about your own self. Your identity is hidden, and it's hidden where? Thought I had some smart kids in class. Your identity, y'all all say y'all know who you are, don't you? You get offended if somebody says you don't know who you are. So if you do know who you are, then where did you find your identity? If you say your mother, then you're fucking dumb as hell and wrong. If you say your daddy, then you're stupid as hell and wrong as well. If you say the government, then you're stupid as hell and wrong. Or just ignorant. But you know who you are. So that's why I'm covering all the bases. Not leaving any stone unturned here. There are all kinds of listeners when words are spoken, so you got to speak to everybody. Y'all follow that? Where did you find your identity if you found it? Because if he says if a man seeks to save his life, he'll lose it. He also says that a man has to give up his life in order to find it. So how did you find your life? Did you give up one? They'll be like, what do you mean gave up? What do you mean I gave up? See, then you don't know what I'm talking about. Get out of class. Go back over there with the wolves. Go back over the hill, man. Yep, there you go. Bye-bye. There you go. Thank you. You see? You hear that little flop? So, while I'm on this subject, while I'm talking to the wolves like that, I told y'all this because I'm a black sheep. So just imagine in your mind a group of normal-looking white sheep, and there's one black one there. And his countenance is a little bit different. He's like kind of like this when he's walking around out there. You're like, he looks a little bit more austere, a little bit more serious. Well, that's because he has a job. If you were a servant at a restaurant, you would be given a uniform, correct? So let's say you were a servant at Denny's. You would have a Denny's shirt and a name tag on and a little visor or whatever they wear. If it was Mickey D's, that's what you'd have on. If you were working at Benihana's or some other restaurant, you would have on a different type of uniform. So when you two servers would see each other, you would notice that you'd serve for two different bosses. That's the way it is with the world. It's the way it is with the world. The elect have on a different uniform. It's written in Ephesians, the uniform that they wear. See? That's who we wait on. Wait on the Lord. Is it written? All right then. So we waiters for the Lord. We stand there with our tray waiting for some words to get dropped on it that we serve out to our brothers and sisters so they can eat. Because our people eat bread from heaven. Like I started this message with, don't forget the manna that's in your heart. It was planted in there as a memory. If you're an Israelite, your DNA will bear witness. It will say, I remember that. Okay? So if you remember it, then bethink yourself. And turn yourself to your temple, which is your heart and your mind. And see its broken, tore down state. Look at it. It's been tore apart by Romans. Your heart has. Your mind has. They've shown you movies and movies and movies of woolly-headed people being beat to a pulp, tied to a post and beaten with a whip, picking cotton in a field, being called all kind of names and kicked around and children snatched from them and disenfranchised and land stolen from them and called by different names and all kind of hatred toward them. And you just saying that just happened for no reason and it happened by some people did that to them. Let's not forget that. Just as someone tore down the temple, the Romans did. And they tore it down with pulling you out of your simple way of living. Hebrews, Israelites, pulling you out of the right thought, putting you out of the right feeling that you were safe. And why was that allowed to happen to you? Because you weren't loving your neighbor as yourself. We defended our homeland at one point. We built walls so that those dogs would stay on the outside. The whores would be on the outside. The sodomites would be on the outside of our gates. That's why we built our city of peace. And heathens sought to destroy it, but we let it be destroyed from the inside by believing the lies. We were deceived. We thought their trinkets were nice. We thought their way of life was convenient, and we accepted it. But convenience breeds weak men. Discomfort breeds strong men. So we've been in discomfort for a long time. So are we strong today? Don't let nobody lie to you, little flock. Don't let nobody lie. Sheep has to be a unique creature to dwell in a land, being as helpless as he is, to dwell in a place with so many fearsome creatures that can tear him apart in an instant. Sheep have no protection, so they just dwell, but yet they live on the earth still to this day. They're not extinct. And why? Because the help of men. The protection of a shepherd has protected sheep. So sheep have always lived on faith. They've always had to hear from the Father, take no thought. Be not afraid. Be of good cheer. Rejoice. Be happy. Constantly living in fear, afraid of everything that you see with your eyes. But there would come a black sheep that would not judge by outward appearance and with his eyes and with his ears, and he would tell you the truth of that thing that you're looking at. It ain't more powerful than you, because he who is in you is what? If you know it, then say it. You just got to know that today. So that's all for now. Y'all be blessed. Shalom, Israel.